Everybody, welcome to my channel. Today, we're going to be talking about emotional addiction. Sometimes people call this codependency, but in this video, what I'm referring to when I say those words is something that people often think is true love, but oftentimes is actually an emotional imprint. Watch this video. Hey guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new, please click the little subscribe button, the bell to receive notifications when I release new videos. And if you've been with me for a while, thank you so much and welcome back. Today, I want to dive into this idea that I would describe as emotional addiction. Now, it's not something that we actually have ever heard being diagnosed as far as I'm concerned. Some people think codependency can also be like an emotional addiction, but today, for the purpose of this video, I want to dive into this idea that oftentimes we feel like we're in love with someone, but it's really just an emotional imprint. This is just coming from me, from my experience and my way of explaining it. So you're not going to be able to Google it and be like, what is this? Because I'm just kind of putting it all together in a way that we maybe haven't heard before. So most of my videos, as you know, are inspired by client sessions, but I oftentimes change the name and the gender so that no one knows who you are. So if you're like, oh my gosh, that's based on our session, don't worry, no one will ever know. And usually because I have this really amazing group around me of beautiful souls that are in this collective consciousness, it's usually the same topic all week long with everyone that I see. I can't even make this up. In my monthly membership group last Friday, I did this meditation based on a download I had when I clicked the button. And the download was about the father wound. And it was about taking God as the father. And when I opened up to my membership, everyone had something to say about this topic. It was really cool, about lifting up into sort of God consciousness. So today, hopefully, if you're finding this video, it's synchronistic for you. So let's dive into this idea. This idea of emotional addiction. You guys know what I'm talking about if you've had the experience where you have this extreme magnetic connection with someone right away, and the chemistry is off the charts. There's so many things in common, including your wounding. This is what I mean. If you have an abandonment wound and you get in a relationship with someone that you feel that with and you find out, oh shit, they have that wound too. Or if you're the one that's like, into the enmeshment and they're into the abandonment, it's kind of that opposite magnet experience, but it makes you feel that pull, that inconsistent pull. And this is what I mean. If you have emotional addiction in a relationship, it's because you've come from an experience like that in your original family. Either your mom or your dad, there was some kind of toxic dynamic where you weren't really sure if mom approved of you. You weren't really sure if dad was going to be consistently there for you because he was drinking a lot. There was some inconsistency. There was some conditionality. There was something going on that made you feel, I got to fight for the love, or I got to try to be something that they want, or I can't just exist and be my authentic self and be safe and loved. When that happens, we then have that emotional imprint from an early age that this is what love is. It becomes familiar, it becomes comfortable. And what happens, and I'm going to explain one of the scenarios today with one of my clients, but what happens is we get really sort of attracted to someone that we ultimately have the same imprint we had with, say, mom. So this client I want to just bring up today was telling me about her childhood and how her mother would never approve of her. In fact, her mother didn't even raise her. She was raised by other family members and always felt a little abandoned by everyone in the family, mom and dad, not the extended family, but mom and dad felt abandoned and unloved and not sure why. And what happens when we have that experience is we make it because of us, because there can't be anything wrong with mom and dad, God, right? Because they're God to us, right? I say this a lot. So it must be me. It must be something wrong with me. I'm not lovable. I don't know why I don't deserve that. I'm flawed, right? So that's the other part of the imprint. Okay, we put up with this crap from people because we think that's what I'm used to. That's all I deserve. Huge lie also. But makes sense that we would think that, right? So what happens then, because we have this dynamic that feels so intense, I was telling my client today. So anyway, back to the story. Got on a tangent. So was not raised by either parent, but saw mom often. always had the dynamic of mom loves me so much and then she gets mad at me for some reason I don't understand and she'll take away everything she just gave me. So what this person learned to do was to give a lot, overextend to make sure it might come back to her, because she would always wait around for what she needed and it wouldn't come. So let me do a lot to get that need met. That, I'll give more to get something. Doesn't work that way though usually. But that was the Band-Aid, right? The other Band-Aid is I have this intensity with this partner and they never choose me as number one. Well, I said to her, neither did mom. She goes, that's true. I go, look, mom loved you and then mom didn't love you. You're never her number one. This guy, same dynamic, but different. Intense love, but got to go somewhere else for a while. You're not number one. So that's mirroring the original thing that feels accurate, familiar, because it's an emotional imprint. She thinks, oh, this guy's my soulmate. He could be. He could be your soulmate if you both do the wound work and you both realize, oh, we're going to heal each other's abandonment wounds by healing them with each other. But right now, what the dynamic looks like is, this isn't going to end well, just like it didn't with mom. So it's very painful and it feels very traumatic and it feels very magnetized because it is mirroring something inside. It is a magnet to that inner child wound. So when we think this is my soulmate or this is deep love or this is intensity, I want you to think, is it, or is it that emotional imprint that feels very comfortable? Now, the other side of this that I go into in a lot of my courses is that when we're in these types of dynamics, the good guy or good girl, the one who's healthy and safe and could be comfortable, feels very uncomfortable because it's not familiar, but we also don't trust it. We don't trust that we deserve it. We don't trust that it's real because we've never seen that. We've always had the push-pull, or we've always had uncertainty. So a lot of people are like, Candace, why am I not attracted to the healthy good guy? Why is he boring to me or scary to me? And I say, well, he's boring, by the way, because that emotional addiction is not being fed. Emotional addiction needs intensity. It needs highs and lows. It needs he's there, she's not there. It needs that to survive, to feel, oh yeah, okay, here it is again. I got it. I got him back, right? I got mom's attention. Mom usually ignores me. Now I got mom. Just like the boyfriend or the girlfriend. Oh, he's ignoring me for another woman. Ah, he's back. I'll take the breadcrumbs, right? That's the emotional addiction. We get addicted to it. And then when it's gone and it leaves us, we do everything like pine over it, think about it. What did I do wrong? Oh my God, I can't live without it. I can't breathe without it. But if you're with someone healthy who might be slightly boring because they ain't traumatic, you're like, this isn't doing it for me. I'm kind of angry because I'm bored. And like, I don't know if I can trust this because it's not extreme. You know what I mean? That's when you know that addiction, that emotional addiction is taking hold. When you start to get awareness of your inner child wounds and you start to see these patterns, when you feel that addiction, what starts to happen in someone who's been healing is you start to recognize it and you're like, oh gosh, I know this extreme good will lead to extreme bad. It's not going to be consistent. You can't force yourself to like the boring, comfortable, nice guy or girl. It's not boring when you're healed, by the way, but it is when you're not. You can't force yourself to like it, but you can understand that, oh gosh, when I start to be a little bit more attracted to the things that create inner peace, I know I'm on the right track. When I'm still attracted to the things that are uncertain, a little bit abusive in a way, a little bit abandoning in a way, sometimes rejecting, maybe they're angry or mean once in a while. Someone who's totally healed is like, what is that red flag? No. Someone who isn't is like, oh, I see the red flag. It's okay. I know how to deal with it. I'll do better so you don't do that anymore. Self-blame, self-blame. It's all about me. That's why you're acting that way, because of me. Nah. Mom and dad didn't reject you because of you, ever. It was never your fault. It's not what you deserve. And neither is it in a relationship. So when we talk about emotional addiction and we think about the trauma experience, it could be a trauma bond, could just be an emotional imprint versus true, healthy, consistent, true love. It's not going to feel like an addiction. It's not going to feel like exciting. It's not going to feel like you just got a hit, right? It's going to feel like more of a consistent, not boring, some people might call it content, experience where you have an inner calm that you can count on. And when you're still wounded, that inner calm doesn't feel comfortable because you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. So you might as well either create it or get with someone that's going to do that for you. No. So guys, on that note, I want to offer you the opportunity down below to take my emotional rehab course to rehabilitate that emotional addiction, those emotional wounds that create these relationship dynamics. It is a 12-week program. It is freaking phenomenal. Everyone who's ever taken it, thank God, has said they adore it and go on to take shadow work usually. But emotional rehab is opening tomorrow. It is opening tomorrow for early enrollment, and it will be starting October 1st. I show up for live calls every single week for the whole year. You get to stay in there longer than the 12 weeks. You get to stay in there the whole year because I like to build community and have you have that support of so many others doing the same thing with you. So you can be mirrored and seen and supported, which is super important in healing any kind of trauma, any kind of wounding. Also, I'll say that the course is a bunch of video lessons. It is a bunch of writing assignments, also, inner child meditations, guided meditations, EFTs, all the kinds of tools that I use to get you to a better place in this pattern and heal it deeply and completely. So check out Emotional Rehab if you're interested. Also, there's many more offerings below. If you feel that someone would benefit from this message, please share it with them. Please subscribe if you haven't already. If you have any questions you want to DM me on Instagram, I'm always available. It might take a little bit of time to get back because that usually is pretty trafficky. But I love you guys so much. I appreciate your support and know that I'm here holding space for you. I'll see you next week.